Hi everybody, Mark Hayward here. It is winter in Wisconsin. In fact, you may be able to see it snowing right now. We're in the midst of the pandemic of 2020, and one of the few remaining ways that we can safely gather with friends is around the good old fire pit. My girlfriend Christine and I came up with a great way to extend the fire pit season and stay warmer and be able to socialize longer into the winter. If you've ever been around one when it's really cold out, your front is hot and your butt is freezing cold. Well, check this out. We had a fire last week with this design, and I posted this photo on Facebook. It's already been shared over 350 times, so this is obviously information that people really need. I decided to do a bigger experiment and invite my neighbors, Bert and Amanda, to contribute their own design. Time for science! And here are the designs. Here we have the progression of the 4 different kinds of fire pit reflectors. This is the simplest one. It's just a car windshield reflector with 4 clips. And from there, we go to this with a 10-foot piece of Reflectrix clamped onto 2 different chairs. This is the more extensive one, complete with the emergency blanket tarp on tarp posts. Each one has its own flaws, but the winner, the best of all, the pods. These are my neighbors, Bert and Amanda. They're so smart. Pro tip, put the fold-up chair bag over the back of the chair. Then when you're cleaning up in the dark, you can't lose it. It's really cold here today. It's 35 degrees and snowing. Perfect weather for a fire. This one is the simplest of all the designs, and by far the easiest. It's just a window reflector from your car and 4 binder clips. So you've got clips on the front 2 corners. You want it to flare out enough to draw in some heat, and then clips on the back to keep the back of it from falling down. Pro tip, put the slot for the rear view mirror back in the back of the chair so that you don't get a cold spot on the back of your neck. The downside of this design is that you don't have any wind protection for your head or your legs, so you may want to drape a blanket around the chair before you put the reflector on. So this setup is fine, but it's very simple. It doesn't have anything to get the heat from the fire on you from up here. And when you have a fire pit, the heat goes out in an upward cone. So you want to have something that can help bring some of that back down to you. One really critical thing, no matter which of these setups you're going to do, is you got to have some insulation on your butt. So I've got just a little inflatable sit pad, but you can fold up a blanket or a towel and sit on it. This was the idea that I thought was going to work the best, even though it's the most complex. We've got the reflective tarp on top. This is an emergency blanket. It's got grommets in the corner. I actually had to change out the grommets to a larger grommet in order to fit my existing tent poles. And then the reflectors here clipped on in a few spots. But what turned out to be the case is that there was a little bit too much dead space in between in the original setup. I had to bring everything closer together because it was too cold. And I'm not sure that this doesn't reflect as much heat as I thought it would. It turns out that I think the parabolic shape of the pods focuses the heat more efficiently. So this is kind of nice, but it's also much more expensive. I'm not sure it's worth the trouble. So this is it. This is the one that we decided was the best of all of the options that we made. One thing that's different with Bert and Amanda's design versus the one that I did is they've used duct tape on the top. I used binder clips. It really doesn't matter. You can do whatever you want. Just get the job done. So Bert and Amanda made two different pods. They're slightly different designs. So here's Bert's design, and here's Amanda's design. And you can see they've got different benefits. One of the things that Amanda likes is that hers wraps around underneath so that it keeps her butt warm a little bit more. And it's on a slightly different kind of camp chair than everyone else. And Bert's comes all the way down to the ground, which provides a great windbreak, but perhaps not the same kind of butt insulation. So you can decide what you like best for yourself. And Amanda also discovered that she could direct the heat from the fire onto her knees. So when it's down, you're getting more heat on your knees?
Yep.
And when it's up, you get less. It would have been smart of me to have an actual fire burning for this video, but I just didn't do it, not for any reason. But strangely enough, Amanda, you're still warm enough.
Yeah, I'm actually warm from my own body heat, even in this ridiculous costume.
How you doing over there, Bert?
Oh, it's a lovely day in Wisconsin.
Couldn't have asked for better weather to shoot
Absolutely.
this video. It's really very cozy in here. We don't even have a fire going, and I'm surprised at how warm it is. And the other thing that I found that is really an amazing benefit to all of these varieties is that you can hear the people on the other side of the fire better. My voice tends to get drowned out pretty quickly with background noise, and having this big reflector behind you to funnel all of your voice sound across the fire, it's amazing. So super simple, 4 foot by 5 foot rectangle of this Reflectrix, 4 binder clips, a chair, and an optional garden or driveway post. I added this to keep the shell from flopping down. You'll never have been happier around a fire in the cold. So there you have it, a bunch of different ways to make reflectors for the fire pit. The pod was far and above the best. I couldn't recommend it anymore. If you want to extend your fire season, I highly recommend that you get some Reflectrix and make yourself some pods. You can get Reflectrix at Farm and Fleet or the hardware store, or probably just about any big box home store. I make videos on a wide variety of subject matter. If you like this one, please like and subscribe. I'm a professional comedy yo-yo man, but I'm also a woodworker and I have many varied interests. If you'd like to help support the artistic side of my life, you can support my Patreon. I'll have a link in the description.